daily lives, that will change history, 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 that will change history. That will be the most beautiful day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in this evening to our May 9th, Monday report here, our night report for the ongoing crisis in Ukraine. Again, we give these reports every weekday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. That's 3 a.m. Ukraine time. Again, just want to thank everybody that is tuning in tonight to tonight's live stream. Hello to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I see quite a few returning viewers, as usual, as quite as a few new viewers as well. Panikius, thank you so much for subscribing. OG Master Kush, thank you so much for subscribing. Bo, thank you so much for subscribing. Tracker, thank you so much for subscribing. That's 01 Delicious. Thank you so much for subscribing. Mimi, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Katie Horton, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I saw a few of you guys were having some audio issues. I hope it sounds good now. I hope we're coming in loud and clear to everybody. Again, we're going to start with the main headlines this evening. We're going to go through those, and then we're going to switch over to our community aggregated reporting coming from our Discord server, from our Situation Room over on our Discord server. A few people saying we're having some lagging issues, maybe some audio issues as well occurring. Am I coming in loud and clear for everybody? I should... Again, guys, I want to make sure we're coming in loud and clear here before we start our reports this evening. I want to make sure I am being heard by everybody tonight. If you guys could sound off in chat. Jack27, thank you so much for tuning in. Edith, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Stephen Gregory, thank you so much for tuning in this evening and for those kind words there. Julia, thank you so much for tuning in this morning/evening. Very, very true there. I guess it is morning for everybody in Ukraine and in Europe, so good morning to you all. Good evening to everybody here in the Americas. Again, about 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast, 3 a.m. Ukraine time. Was a very busy Victory Day in Ukraine and Russia. We'll be going through all of those reports this evening to get everybody caught up. Again, very quickly, just welcome to everybody that's tuning in this evening. Again, for those that miss it, or for those that are maybe having a hard time tuning in tonight, we are recording tonight's report. So even if you're not able to make it for the whole thing, or if you miss it, it will be uploaded to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Nemico Network. Hey, Jack MC, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Again, to everybody, Jenny, thank you so much for tuning back in. Itchy the Killer, thank you so much for tuning back in this evening. Without further ado, everybody, Michelle Welch, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, guys, without further ado, we're going to start with our main headlines for this evening. Again, May 9th of 2022, this Monday evening. Again, Victory Day was celebrated here as that battle rages in the East. Again, Russia celebrated its Victory Day with that parade. We actually were up last night with you guys at around 3 a.m. Eastern time for that parade. We actually live streamed that reporting. We did some live reporting last night. If you guys want to see that live reporting we did from the parade, that coverage of the parade and Putin's announcement speech, it is available over on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Nemico Network. If you guys want to go watch that parade, that Russian parade that we reported on last night. Again, as that battle continues to rage on in the east, as the battle for Avastal in Mariupol continues to rage on, you saw Russia, again, celebrate its Victory Day today, Monday, with that parade, no major, as we speculated that there was going to be some possibly announcements of a victory, claiming some victory here, or possibly announcement of maybe a further troop mobilization. However, what we had speculated was more the likely option was that nothing was going to occur, and that is what has occurred. Again, it was kind of confusing there. They canceled their air parade at last minute's notice. He gave the speech at the beginning of the parade and not at the end, which was interesting. Previous reports had said he was planning to give that speech at the end of the parade, not at the beginning there, which was interesting. Again, he didn't make any big claims of victory that we saw in that speech yesterday. He didn't make any big claims of mobilizing the Russian people, mobilizing further Russian uh, further Russian forces there. However, that doesn't mean that we won't see those announcements in the coming days. Again, we have to keep our eyes and ears peeled here. Again, in these days after this Victory Day, we did immediately see during and after the Victory Day celebrations. Immediately, we saw air raid alerts sound in Ukraine. We saw the attacks on the Avastal steelworks immediately begin after that occurred as well. Again, really quickly before we get into the main headlines here, just just want to thank everybody that's tuning in this evening. If you haven't already, guys, smash that like button. Best way to get the algorithm's attention here, get this information out to a lot more people. Again, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Best way to get notified when new streams go live, when new videos go live. We get a lot of new video content coming down the pipeline for you guys in the coming weeks here that we've been working on in the background. Again, thank you all for tuning in this evening. Without further ado, let's hop into our main headlines for this evening. Again, Russian President Vladimir Putin devoted much of his annual Victory Day speech to Ukraine, but did not claim any victories, again, as we had speculated he might, nor did he signal any major military or policy shifts in what the Kremlin continues to call its, quote, special military operation. So again, we were speculating that he might, change the wording to now calling it a war. Again, that didn't happen. He didn't call up any mobilizations as well. So it was basically a very uneventful Victory Day announcement there. Which we some of us kind of expected to happen. I know, because all of the Western media had been in such a buzz over it. I know there were so many people online last night, late 3 a.m., wanting to see these announcements coming out of Moscow, wanting to see that parade. It was a very busy evening, however, again, very uneventful in the end. Again, Putin painted Russia's campaign as this generation's link to the Soviet defeat of Nazi Germany in those speeches there that we witnessed, again, saying it was forced by actions of the U.S. and NATO. He called out the West directly, calling out the U.S. and NATO allies directly in that speech. Again, in a video address, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky vowed that Ukraine would win, saying, quote, very soon there will be 2 victory days in Ukraine. A senior U.S. defense official said there are no major changes on the battlefield at this time. Again, as their offensive in the east is still raging, but has somewhat stagnated in recent days. Moving on here, world leaders weighed in on the Ukraine war on Victory Day in Europe. Again, G7 leaders released a statement commemorating the end of World War II in Europe and pledging further support for Ukraine, quoting, freedom and security will win the day just as freedom and security triumphed over oppression, violence, and dictatorship 77 years ago. Those statements coming from German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. Again, the United Nations and international aid organizations are among those condemning an attack on Saturday on a school in Luhansk that was sheltering 90 people, including children. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he was, quote, appalled by the bombing. 30 people have been rescued from the rubble. The rest are feared to be dead at this time. Again, very unfortunate strike that occurred there on Saturday at that school in the Luhansk region, again, which was sheltering up to 90 individuals. Many are presumed dead at that location. Again, First Lady Jill Biden wrapped up a 4-day trip to Eastern Europe, which included a surprise visit to Ukraine on Sunday to meet with Ukraine's First Lady Olena Zelensky, again, who had been in hiding since the war had began. Again, it was a surprise trip there, very last minute, that trip in to Ukraine. Probably the highest profile delegation visit that we've seen to Ukraine since the war has began. The board of the Pulitzer Prizes awarded the journalists of Ukraine a special citation, quote, for their courage, endurance, and commitment to truthful reporting since Russia's invasion. Despite bombardment, abductions, occupation, and even deaths in their ranks, they have persisted in their effort to provide an accurate picture of a terrible reality in doing honor to Ukraine and to journalists around the world, the citation says. Again, that comes as many Western journalists have been targeted in Ukraine since the war has began. Ukraine's bomb-sniffing Jack Russell Terrier received a presidential medal. Patron the dog and his owner, Mikhailo Aliyev, of the Civil Protection Service, received a medal from Zelensky in recognition of their service to the country. Patron, whose name means ammo in Ukrainian, is credited with detecting more than 200 undetonated explosive devices since the beginning of the war. Again, that was according to Reuters from earlier today. Again, really quickly, thank you to everybody that's tuning in this evening. I see quite a few familiar faces tuning back in on the chat there. Again, we're going through our main headlines this evening here. Ukraine has submitted a second questionnaire to join the EU. Again, we reported on the first questionnaire weeks ago. Again, Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky confirmed he submitted the second part of the formal questionnaire to obtain candidacy for membership in the European Union during a video call with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Again, Zelensky made the announcement in his national address late on Monday evening, quoting, "Today we have taken another step, a very important and not just a formal step on our path to the European Union." Again, in a statement earlier today, President Biden says, "I'm confident that Putin believed he could break up NATO and the European Union." Quote from that report saying, "I'm confident that Putin believed he could break up NATO and that he believed he could break up the European Union." Again, Biden said, according to a poll report from the event that occurred earlier today. Again, that wraps up our main headlines for this evening. We're now going to be swapping over into our Situation Room to take a look at some of our community aggregated reporting from this evening. Again, big shout out to all of our community members that have been providing to that community aggregated reporting over there in the Situation Room on the Discord server. If you would like to not only help contribute some of, if you have reports or intel, anything you think is worthwhile to show on stream here, again, you could submit that over on our Situation Room in the Discord server. If you'd like to get probably one of the best resources for up-to-date real-time news on what's going on in Ukraine, again, you can head over there to the Situation Room. That's discord.gg/Nemico. Best place to get up-to-date real-time information on what is going on in Ukraine currently. Again, a few people saying there's some issues here happening with the live stream this evening. Again, we are recording the live stream, guys, so if anybody's having some issues with buffering, maybe wants to tune in to the recorded version once it's uploaded, looks like we might be having some connectivity issues this evening. Some people saying we're getting some buffering, possibly. Again, we'll work through those issues as we go here, but if anybody, again, wants to tune in maybe later once we got the report uploaded, again, it will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Nemico Network. Again, so now we are swapping over into our Situation Room here on the Discord server. Take a look at some of that community aggregated reporting from the past about 12 hours ago here. Big story this evening. Odessa coming under many strikes over the past 12 or so hours here. Quite a few strikes here. Again, really quickly letting everybody know in chat that we are having some issues there with the stream, but that it will be uploaded as a report later this evening. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Pocky, yeah, I got your PM there. I have quite a few people sent over the PMs there just now. Again, it does look like the stream is having a little bit of connectivity issues. Is Twitch having the same issues for everybody over on Twitch? Guys, let me know if you're having the same issues on Twitch. If not, for those of you on YouTube, if you're having some buffering issues, try hopping over to Twitch. That might solve it for you. However, we might just have to continue on here, guys, and bring you the recording later, again, over on the YouTube channel. Again, youtube.com/Nemico Network will have the recording for the nightly report over there for everybody later this evening. Again, though, starting with our Situation Room reports from this evening, just to move on here. Again, we'll try to keep tabs on this ongoing connectivity issue here as we move on this evening. But starting off, again, strikes in Odessa over the past 12 hours, especially overnight here. We had quite a few strikes in Odessa. Our first post here comes from Unstinkable over on the Discord server in that Situation Room. Again, this comes from Reddit, showing, I believe this is footage here from those strikes occurring in Odessa earlier this evening. Hold on, let's go over to our primary screen here. Stand by here, guys. We're going to switch over to our primary screen here so we can get a full screen view of what is going on here in Odessa. So again, this is reportedly footage from Odessa showing multiple strikes occurring earlier this evening. Pocky said that restarting my YouTube stopped my buffering. So it could be an issue, guys, on YouTube's end. Might try refreshing. That could be what is causing that issue there. Again, Kiev, it doesn't. Sorry, not Kiev, but Twitch. Twitch seems to not be having the issues at this time. Jamie Baxter says it is fixed on my end. A few people are saying it is fixed. Well, that is good. Thank you so much for letting me know there. All right, guys. Moving on. Our next post comes to us from a user on the Situation Room called Green Doggo. Green Doggo, thank you so much for sending this over. Says, Russia will launch a Angara 1.2 rocket carrying a MKA-R radar satellite. This will be the first launch attempt for the Angara 1.2 rocket, delayed from April. This is a military satellite that was supposed to launch back on April 27th, 2022. Again, this article coming to us from space.com, posted by Green Doggo over on the Situation Room in the Discord here. Again, talking about this satellite. Again, if you guys would like to look at any of these reports with us as we are covering these, you can find them in the Situation Room over on the Discord server. A bunch of this is launch information. So a very quick press release here. Again, talking about that rocket launch is scheduled here coming up shortly. Our next post here comes again from Green Doggo. This comes from The Guardian here saying, again, Russian journalists fill pro-Kremlin site with anti-war articles. Again, two Russian journalists working for a popular pro-Kremlin website filled it with anti-war articles on Monday morning in a rare act of dissent as the country celebrated the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany. Again, the articles on lenta.ru called President Vladimir Putin a pitiful, paranoid dictator and accused him of waging, quote, the bloodiest war of the 21st century. Again, a quote from that saying, we had to do it today. We wanted to remind everyone what our grandfathers really fought for on this beautiful victory day for peace, said 30-year-old Igor Polikiev, of one of the two of the journalists from that article. Very interesting there, again, that active dissent there from those pro-Russian journalists there. Very interesting. Our next post here comes from user Lords of Acid on the Situation Room, a long-time contributor here. Again, this comes from a unverified Twitter source here saying a Russian Air Force strategic bomber voice net currently active on 8897 kilohertz USB at 21:34 UTC time. Again, that was 5:39 my time, so about 3 hours ago, those Russian Air Force strategic bomber voice net was active. I'm not sure if those possibly are related to the strikes that we saw in Odessa. Again, it is reported that was a missile strike in Odessa. We had another post here. I can't actually bring that up on stream here again because of the video format it was sent over in, but you guys can look at it yourselves if you're over there on the Situation Room. Posted by Freja. Again, a video showing Russian missile strike reported in Odessa there. I'm sure when we hop over into our Situation Room, we'll have that footage for you as well. However, not to leave Freja hanging, another post he left for us over in the Situation Room from earlier. Again, this is some reported video footage from earlier today, showing some destruction along a street here. I'm going to get a quick translation here going on this post here for you guys, so I can read that. It says, shows a video of consequences of today's shelling of Odessa in the afternoon. Something about tin as well, but like tin, sheet metal possibly blown off some of the buildings here. Again, there's been multiple strikes over the evening, over the past 12 hours in Odessa. Not just overnight here, but into yesterday as well. Okay, so City Duhan, a few people saying that the issue has resolved itself with the connectivity. I'm glad to hear that, guys. Again, for anybody that might have missed some of that or maybe wants to watch the report back later, it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. That full recording will be available over there, youtube.com/Nemico Network. Again, our next post here from the Situation Room comes from Speed Dial, longtime contributor. Coming from again, that Jack Detz, verified Twitter source here. Jack Detz, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. They're saying, Pentagon update on Russia's invasion of Ukraine on day 75. Again, absolutely depressing and mind-boggling to me that just to think that we've been doing this now for 75 days, guys. We've been here together on this YouTube channel, guys, for 75 days recovering this bloody war occur in Ukraine. Almost 100 days now. 25 days, it'll be 100 days that we've been covering this unbearably long conflict now. Again, from this Pentagon release earlier saying the U.S. has now trained 310 Ukrainian troops on those M77 howitzers. The U.S. has sent 85 of the 90 howitzers to Ukraine. The U.S. assesses Russia has made no significant progress in Donbass. However, they have stated they've made incremental with what they're calling anemic progress, which means they'll capture an area and then immediately the Ukrainians take it right back. The U.S. believes some Russian troops are not obeying orders. Very interesting reporting there. Again, coming from that Pentagon press release earlier today from Jack Detz, posted here on his verified Twitter account. That was, again, brought to us by Speed Dial over on the community Discord server. Thank you so much, Speed Dial, for sending that over. Our next post here comes from Kayuka on the Discord server in the Situation Room. Thank you, Kayuka, for sending this over. It says new e-leak electric heavy-duty bikes with upgrades were delivered to Ukrainian forces, silent and efficient. This is absolutely the most badass thing I've seen this entire war, I think. The fact that they now have this equipment like this. First of all, I've been dreaming and foaming at the mouth about getting one of these for myself for years now. These electric dirt bikes are absolutely awesome. Absolutely beasts when it comes to just the amount of torque they can put out, their acceleration power, just how fast they are, how versatile they are, especially for off-road travel. This will absolutely come in very handy for these Ukrainian operators. Imagine this. Imagine you have a Ukrainian javelin team. Okay, they need to move quickly. They need to be able to fire on those Russian tanks, those Russian vehicles, and then move very quickly. This right here is the bike. It's silent. Okay, it's not like your normal dirt bike. It doesn't have it doesn't have the exhaust sound that comes from your normal dirt bike, your petrol operated dirt bike here. This is you got an insane amount of torque, insane amount of acceleration power, much more than I think you would have in a lot of petrol operated dirt bikes. I know a few guys locally where I live that ride these, and I've ridden them a few times. The good ones are not super cheap, but again, they are pretty affordable. But just the amount of power you get, the amount of bang you get for your buck on these bikes, absolutely wonderful seeing that these Ukrainian defenders now have access to this technology. You can see here they even have olive drab plating here, olive drab covers here for the engine bay and for that mud fin there. Very interesting seeing that they now have this equipment. Wow, this is crazy. Yeah, absolutely wonderful seeing that they have these bikes now. Again, this will probably, I would imagine, coming very handy for some small teams operating. I was just thinking just now, think about some guy with a javelin missile strapped to his back. He can move in really quickly on one of these and then move out. Yeah, some of these e-leak bikes have a lot of power, insane amount of power. Yeah, I've ridden a few of them, and I mean they blow. In my opinion, when it comes to acceleration and just the sheer torque power that some of them have, it blows a lot of dirt bikes I rode when I was younger just out of the water. In my opinion, just how far this technology has come, with these electric motorized vehicles, especially like these electric bikes and stuff, electric mountain bikes and all that stuff. It's, again, very useful tool for these Ukrainian operators. Very cool to see that. Again, thank you so much to Kayuka for posting that over on the Discord server. LD49 says charging stations. No, for those you can just charge them with like your standard 220 or 120. I don't know what they use in Europe. I think it's probably 220, right? That they use in Europe. I'm not sure. Yeah, that is absolutely that's pretty cool that they got those there. Very cool, very cool. Again, our next post here comes from Speed Dial here on Twitter. Again, brought sources Dan Lamont. Dan Lamont. Again, verified Twitter source here saying, good Monday, everyone. It's day 75 since Russia invaded Ukraine. And a senior U.S. defense official at the Pentagon held another background briefing about the situation a short time ago. Some updates as Putin defends the war on Moscow's traditional Victory Day, saying perhaps the most significant bit of news today, the Pentagon sees anecdotal evidence of numerous Russian military officers in Ukraine disobeying orders from their commanders. Very interesting report there. Again, those Russian officers disobeying are mostly mid-level, even up to the level of battalion commander, the senior U.S. defense officials said. Very interesting updates coming here from this source here, Dan Lamont, on Lamont, again, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, on Twitter here. Again, incremental updates on a few other fronts worth mentioning. First, there are now about 97 Russian battalion tactical groups in Ukraine. That's up to a few more from last week as Russia gradually rebuilds and reinserts forces that were devastated earlier in the war. Again, thank you, Speed Dial, for sending that over. Again, our last post here for the evening comes from Lords of Acid. It's another warning here about those Russian Air Force strategic bomber voice nets being active on 8897 kilohertz. Again, this was around 1638 UTC. Again, aircraft noted passing 555 radiogram to ground controller, call sign Medyanka. Again, so there is some activity there that was reported. This was 12:42 p.m., so this was at noon on the 9th. Again, a lot of activity in the skies today over Ukraine. Again, thank you to everybody that contributed to those reports over on the Situation Room. Again, I like to reiterate, if you want to find probably, I think, in my opinion, the best source of news, the best source for real-time, up-to-date reports coming out of Ukraine, coming out of this conflict. Again, one of the best places to do that, one of the best places to find that stuff is over on our Discord server. The many different channels over there are very informative. More specifically, our Situation Room, by far one of the best places to get kind of an overall view of what's going on. Again, with this situation, with this ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Also, again, if you would like to contribute to that aggregation of news, you can, of course, sign up over there on the Discord server. Everybody is welcome to join, and you can help in the aggregation of that reporting. If you have intel, if you have reports, if you have anything that's worth mentioning on the stream here that's related to this crisis, you can post it over there in the Situation Room over on the Discord. We have a team of moderators that is constantly vetting and proofing a lot of that content that we have over there in that channel. Again, very valuable resource. We're now going to be switching over into our live UA map here. We're going to be getting a look at everything that's been going on for about the past 12 hours. Again, starting at the 12-hour mark here, with post, again, saying there are dead and wounded as a result of a night shelling in Mykolaiv. You can see here where that was located on the map. 11 hours ago here, Russian pontoon bridge was destroyed near Bilohorivka in the Luhansk region. Again, you can see where that was located here, and a picture on screen of that destroyed pontoon bridge. Again, we've heard quite a few reports of Ukrainian forces knocking out these pontoon bridges in recent weeks, again, as Russia has tried to make advances in different regions. Again, quick shout out just to everybody that's tuning in this evening, not to mention all of my mods that are helping out over on the Discord server and over in the live chats here as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this evening. Alexander was talking about the prices around on the those electric bikes, somewhere around $5 grand for the entry level on those. So yeah, not too expensive, but pretty dang useful to have those. Yeah, the man-pad transport, exactly. Yeah, again, those electric bikes, they could. I'm pretty sure they could charge those almost anywhere that has, like typical household power. 11 hours ago here, the Russian Defense Ministry announces the deployment of battleships carrying Caliber missiles in the Black Sea. You can see where that is located off the coast of Crimea. A lot of activity down there in the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. Again, on the naval spectrum there. Over the past week or two. 11 hours ago here, President of the European Council, Charles Michel, in the port of Odessa, again with Denis Shamal, I saw silos full of grain, wheat, and corn ready for export. This is badly needed food. This badly needed food is stranded because of the Russian war and blockade of Black Sea ports, causing dramatic consequences for vulnerable countries. We need a global response. Again, this food crisis here beginning to escalate here again, as a lot of that grain, a lot of those exports are stuck in port cities in Ukraine. 10 hours ago here, clearing operating ongoing in Bilohorivka, a village after Russian troops infiltration in the area you can see in the east near the Luhansk Oblast where that activity is occurring. Ukrainian military reinforced positions at the Vidolivivka in the Severodonetsk region. You can see not too far from where our other report was there as well. Again, Red-Blooded American, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Stephen Gregory, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. To everybody that's tuning in tonight, thank you guys so much for stopping by. We're going through our live UA map updates here, our open source map updates here this evening. 8 hours ago here, the Ukrainian army liberated the Bayrik, Zamulivka, and a few different regions here east to Kharkiv. You can see here. Quite a few reports coming out of that region from this evening. Russians are not doing very good up by Kharkiv in recent days. The Ukrainians have pushed them back in many different areas. Again here, 8 hours ago here, the U.S. now has trained 310 Ukrainian troops. I reported on this earlier in the report. Again, on those M77 howitzers, M777 howitzers. Again, up from about 200 a week ago. A senior U.S. defense official says another 50 Ukrainian troops are in training, and U.S. also starting maintenance courses on the howitzers at this time. 8 hours ago, the U.S. has given electronic warfare equipment to Ukraine for the first time on Friday since the Russian invasion on the 24th of February. Again, that's not mentioning all of the intelligence support that they've been giving them. You know, they've had their fair share of involvement here when it comes to electronic warfare, or more specifically, electronic reconnaissance here since the beginning of the war. 6 hours ago here, explosions were reported in Mykolaiv. Again, you can see where those were located here on the map. 5 hours ago here, 2 wounded as a result of Russian missile strike in Odessa. 5 buildings destroyed. Preliminary 3 hypersonic air-launched cruise missiles were used in that strike. Again, you can see those strikes in Odessa, again, were reported to have been hypersonic air-launched cruise missiles that were used in those strikes. 4 hours ago, the President of the United States, Biden, flanked by Vice President Harris and a few other representatives there, again, as he signs Ukraine Lend-Lease Act, which we reported on last week, in which passed with broad bipartisan support. Quote, "It matters, it really matters," he said, as he signed the legislation. You can see a picture of the presidential staff there as they signed those reports. As they signed that legislation. 4 hours ago here, reports of explosions near Volynhorsk. Again, you can see located here on the map, not too far from Dnipro Oblast, again, in central Ukraine. 4 hours ago here, more explosions were reported in Odessa. Sorry. If I scroll in here to Odessa, you can see just how many locations in Odessa have been struck in the past 12 hours. Speaking of which, 4 hours ago, Odessa in under heavy missile attack, again, which occurred there. You saw that footage, which I showed you just a short while ago. 4 hours ago here, at least 7 missile strikes in Odessa. Reportedly, one of the city malls is on fire after those strikes occurred in Odessa. You can see a picture here of that plume rising from where those missile strikes occurred. 4 hours ago here, you can see massive destruction in Odessa after missile strikes earlier today. You can see a picture here posted. I will show you the video footage again. I believe we saw some clips from this footage earlier. You can see of all that debris lying on the streets there, mostly kind of sheet metal, tin metal that had been blown off buildings and stuff there. In a post I saw, they were talking about that earlier. Just the streets were littered with rubble and sheet metal and, again, wood and all sorts of stuff that had been blown off of these buildings from the strike. That's what we're looking at here now. Again, absolute devastation there in Odessa from those missile strikes earlier this evening. You see those brave Korean firefighters there putting out the blaze and searching for survivors in that rubble. 3 hours ago, more explosions reported in Odessa and the region. No sirens sounded during those explosions, which is interesting there. Again, 3 hours ago here, another report coming in after that saying at least 6 wounded, unfortunately, in those Russian missile strikes at that mall in Odessa. Firefighters continue to extinguish the fire and search for survivors in that area. Again, following up with our reports here tonight, of course, we have our usual our usual pattern here of air raid sirens that are coming in over the past hour. Poltavska Oblast, red alert, aerial threat siren sounding. Dnipro and Dnipro Oblast, aerial alert. Kryvyi, aerial alert, siren sounding now. Kharkiv and Kharkivska Oblast, Zaporizhia Oblast as well. And Sumy Oblast, Donetsk Oblast as well. You look here on the map, we zoom out, you can see all these blue circles here is where those alerts have come in over the past hour or so, over the past 60 minutes. Again, let's refresh our live UA map here just to take a look at some of our other, nope, there are no other reports that have come in. Again, that finishes up our reports from our open source intelligence map here, our live UA map here. You can see these reports at liveuamap.com. Find a link to that in the description below. Again, if you want to look at all of the individual reports that we've been speaking of tonight, best resource for that is the Discord server, as I mentioned earlier. We'll now be switching over to a short Q&A session here as I answer some comments and some questions from the live chat over on Twitch, YouTube, and Discord in our general chat. Again, thank you to everybody that is tuning in this evening. Jenny McGowan, thank you so much for tuning in. George Doolittle, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Katie Horton, thank you so much for tuning in. Rocketman says, radar jammers. Thank you so much, Rocketman, for tuning in. I believe, yeah, a lot of electronic warfare equipment has been sent to Ukraine. There's some counter radar systems that I believe are some of the most helpful, I think, when it comes to this electronic warfare equipment. Being able to see where that artillery is being shot in from and being able to return fire on those positions immediately is extremely handy to those Ukrainian defenders. Seprin, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Zach H, thank you so much for tuning in. Says, keep our U.S. stuff secret. Again, yeah, operational security. Zach H, thank you so much for tuning in. Stephen Gregory says, yes, I think Nem is right. Might be a long conflict. Yes, it does look like this conflict is going to be raging on for quite some time, at least until the late summer, unfortunately, guys. Again, we didn't see any major claims of victory by Putin today. We didn't see any major claims of a mobilization. It does look like this is going to continue on a slow grind here. U.S. analysts are speculating that by late August, possibly by July or August, once the ground has dried out, that we might see a full-on offensive here by Russia. A escalated offensive in the late summer. I've seen a lot of U.S. generals and intelligence analysis saying that over the past few days. Pyrotech, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Glad to see you tuning back in this evening. Again, always nice to see a fellow Pyro tuning into the live chat here. Red-Blooded American says, Nemico Network, thanks for your reporting tonight. Thank you, Red-Blooded American. We had a quicker report this evening, again, but we'll be bringing you weeknight reports again all week long, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 3 a.m. Ukraine time for those reports, guys, so make sure to tune into those. Itchy the Killer says, more Russian liberation. Titan Intel says, hello, Nemico. Hello to you, Titan Intel. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening to the stream. Glad to see you back again. Katie Horton says, that's sad in Odessa. Very true. Many strikes in Odessa this evening. Again, hypersonic missiles possibly used there in Odessa this evening as well. Miss Thing Bad says, glad I made it tonight. Thank you so much, Miss Thing Bad, for tuning in this evening. Glad to see you here following along. Again, it's really awesome to see so many returning viewers tuning in to the stream. That's always nice to see that. To everybody over there on Twitch, Kender's a huge channel supporter. Thank you so much, Kender's, not only for, again, joining as a member, but also handing out those 5 community sub gifts over on Twitch. That is a massive help. It's highly appreciated. And again, it's really awesome, you guys, just seeing some of you return viewers tuning back in. I can't wait. One of the biggest things I can't wait to be able to bring you guys is just some of the video content that I've been working on in the future, over the past few weeks here. Bringing you that in the future here in the next few weeks. I'm really excited for that. And not just Ukraine-related stuff, but we have some other stuff too. Maybe some non-war related stuff even coming down the pipeline as well. Again, this channel has more than just one topic. We cover a broad range of topics. It's kind of just kind of a little bit of everything. And so again, I really am pumped to be bringing you some of that video content here in the coming weeks. That's really what I'm looking forward to the most, is sharing that stuff with my community. Again, I wish we could be here together under better circumstances. It really does suck seeing this war drag on as long as it has, seeing so many innocent people lose their lives in Ukraine, so many people, again, wounded, so much civilian infrastructure damaged here in Ukraine. Our biggest hope is that this can come to a speedy conclusion soon. However, unfortunately, it doesn't look that way. And so we're going to continue to bring you guys the facts. We're going to continue to bring you guys the reporting of what's going on the ground in Ukraine. Again, from open source intelligence sources, from our community aggregated reporting as well. Again, a huge shout out to everybody that has helped contribute to these reports, not just to our contributors, but our writing team, to our mods. Again, there's a lot of work being done over there on the Discord server that's been really busy the past few weeks. I've been really busy as well, so we've been trying to get a lot of that stuff done. There's a lot of upgrades, a lot of additions coming in the weeks. Again, really pumped to be bringing a lot of that stuff to you guys soon. Emo says, so this is how you act. You look like, huh? Actually bald? Not yet. I still have all my hair as of now. Again, maybe that will change when I get a little older. Hope not. Hope not. But grateful we still got it. We still got it. Yeah, again, with the virtual avatar, we can take on any news personality we want. As some of my longtime returning viewers might know, we've taken on many different characters. Latric Pancaster, Discount Putin. We went as Discount Putin there for a little while. Again, I have changes in mind for him. However, I haven't had again time to look into those. Demented Chaos says, have you heard of the 2 journalists that published anti-war articles in mass during the Victory Day parade on pro-Russian state-controlled media outlet? Yes, we reported on this earlier tonight. Earlier in the report, I was reporting on this again. Very interesting active dissent by those pro-Russian journalists. Very interesting indeed. Unstakeable says, by then Ukraine will be saturated with howitzers and self-loading artillery. Exactly, yep. Not only will the Russians be in the best position to have an escalation here, but the Ukrainians will be in the best position to defend late summer, because again, by then they will have all of the weapons they need, all right? And so that's why a lot of generals, a lot of U.S. analysts are saying some of the bloodiest fighting that we're going to see might not be until late summer, because that's when the Russians will be most mobile, as the ground will be dried out, and the Ukrainians will be most armed. So again, that's what we'll have to look for here. Jacob says, can you look on the air map? Again, I actually have a piece for the air quality map planned for probably tomorrow's report. We're going to go through, again, over the last few weeks as strikes have occurred, and kind of look at some of the reporting from those air quality maps, as well as a few other of our open source sources, our open source sources tomorrow, our open sources, as we should just call them there. Alexander H says, Live UA Map also has an app. It has ads, but it works. I actually have not used the app yet. I use the desktop version mainly, but I'll have to check that out. LD429 says, I think they will run out of orcs before then. Possibly, however, I think before then they would call for a mobilization. Again, as many intel analysts have speculated he might have done for the Victory Day. Of course, he did not do that. We might see that in the future, though. Yeah, Miguel Antonez says a push like the one over Kiev. Yeah, I don't think we'll see that again. Yeah, that definitely was a pretty drastic failure for the Russians. Again, we will have to wait and see if, again, as the summer progresses, as the ground dries out, as Russia, mobilizes more forces. Again, we have to keep an eye on this very closely. Again, this war isn't over yet. It's still going, and it's going to be going for quite some time. That's how it's looking now. Again, especially after Victory Day here, it's clear to us now that this is probably going to be waging on for quite some time. Jillian Lips says, a quote, one can destroy to create. That's from the movie Prometheus. Great movie, by the way, Jillian. Thank you so much for bringing that up in chat. Lost B83 says, I see a lot of familiar names on here. Same here, and I really like seeing that, guys. Again, seeing all these returning viewers here. E. Jethro, thank you so much for tuning in. Says, evening, Nemico. Nice to catch up. Nice to catch up with you, Jethro. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful evening. Uktin Atsila says the international community needs to pick up the pace. I agree with that. I agree that the international community could do a little bit more. Demented Chaos was discounted Putin from Boston or New York. I'm not sure. We'll have to ask him at some point. Thank you so much, Cindy. We love you too. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Glad to have you back on the stream. Ben Worrell says, nice discount Putin. Hello, Nemico. Well, thank you so much, Ben, for tuning in this evening. Glad to have you on the air. Unmistakable says, Nemico Network, now that Joe has signed the Lend-Lease Act, would that mean Ukraine can get Patriot missile systems? I'm not sure. I actually have not read the full legislation there, but I do know that it does provide, I mean, it does look, again, they're paving the way to provide more resources to Ukraine. Again, it remains to be seen what they decide, what they need. Again, we'll have to wait and see here. Titan Intel says, Nemico, did you see Putin laid a flower on a monument to Kiev and also Odessa today? Kind of awful that his forces have bombed there. Yeah, we did. We watched that during the parade. If you guys want to go watch that parade, it is available, the reporting we did. We did some live reporting for you guys last night at around 3 a.m. Eastern, which was pretty late for me. I was up from about 3 to 4 a.m., but I wanted to bring you guys the reporting on that Victory Day announcement and that Victory Day parade there that we saw in Kiev, or sorry, not Kiev, but in Moscow from President Putin. But yeah, again, we did see those flowers were placed on those monuments. Yeah, again, pretty interesting footage there. We saw, again, they had to cancel their air parade, which was interesting, very last-minute decision, due to weather, yet there was blue skies, very suspect there. Cindy says, again, no, Nemico isn't bald. I've watched his other videos. He's handsome, too. Well, thank you so much, Cindy. That means a lot to me. And, again, thank you to everybody that tuned in this evening, guys. So happy to have all of you along for the ride here. Again, I wish it could be under better circumstances, but I'm glad you guys are choosing us to get your reporting, to get your news here out of what's going on in this very bloody and very long war. So far, again, day 75 here, guys, going into day 76 now. Again, the 24/7 cam stream will be up all evening. Again, 24/7. I'll have to get the live, the auto refreshing working for that after the stream is done live. Again, for those that missed the live report or that want to rewatch it, we will be uploading it to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Nemico Network. For those of you that are looking for any of the links to anything, you can find that stuff in the description below. Find links to our sources, find links where you can donate, find links where you can help Ukraine, find links where you can support the stream, find links where you can check out the merch, find links where you can look at our sources. You can find our invite link to the Discord server down there. If you can't find anything in the description, you can find it over on our Discord server. Again, that's discord.gg/Nemico. Love to have you guys over there. We've crafted a wonderful community. Again, I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really pumped for the future, guys. I'm pumped for the content that we will be bringing you guys here in the coming weeks. I'm excited for summer. I'm hoping that this war will come to a conclusion, guys, and that we can move on to some better things here, and that the people of Ukraine can have their country back, can have their lives back. Again, we just had Mehmet on last week. It's people like him that I hope just have their peace and security back. I also pray for the Russian people some nights as well. That they can be done with this war, and that some of the Russian mothers and Russian families there can have their sons back home. Hopefully not in body bags, but they can come home alive. And the same thing for Ukrainian defenders there, that they can head for home and not have to die in this bloody conflict that again has been raging on now for 75 days straight. Again, we've seen evidence here, that there's a lot of Russian commanders ignoring orders. That there are Russian soldiers that have ignored orders, that have deserted, that don't want anything to do with the invasion, that don't want anything to do with this quote special military operation, guys. There are human beings here on both sides that are losing their lives. There's civilians are losing their lives. Again, very bloody situation that is occurring over there in Ukraine, and I'm excited for it to be over. I'm hoping it will be over soon. I'm hoping we can all again move on to better things here. I wish we could be here again under better circumstances. Again, to everybody that's tuning in tonight, thank you so much for stopping by. New reports every night, guys. Every weekday night, I should say. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 3 a.m. Ukraine time. Again, guys, pray for Ukraine. Pray for everybody in Russia, Ukraine, and in Europe. Pray that this conflict comes to an end, guys. Again, thank you to everybody that tuned in this evening. Until next time, guys, you have been watching Nemico Network, and as LostB83 asks, can you say Puck Futin? Well, Puck Futin, guys. Until next time, you've been watching Nemico Network.
Something that will change our daily lives.